Alrighty, welcome back to what will be the end of Week 2's games for Global Tank League's North American Division. We have ONUR6 versus Chief, joined in the booth today by no spectators, Tank. And you've ruined my intro. We're off to a great start.
That's all.
So, joined in the booth today by two NL players. Our head mod, Enraged Tanker, and I believe the caller, Captain, Tank Killer for NL, and of course got a dinghy. Welcome in, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Tanker, if you want to unspec those Chief boys. No. We're waiting on ONUR6 to pick their final tank. Just run through what Chief have got. So we've got a Object 430U, one of the new tanks coming out, 2 Batchats, an I-7, two 277s, a 705, and a Super Conqueror. So Chief's investing a lot into the new tanks early on. ONUR6 coming out with a Pattern, Batchat, a 277, 2 Super Conquerors, a 50B, and 2 5As. I think that's
if I may, I will say that both setups are, I'd say very, how do I put this, standard, not standard, but they're comp tanks. Like, you don't see anything too crazy out of these two teams. All of these tanks are definitely ready for comp, and so.
Yeah, I mean, the 277 definitely fills the 5A. It's not like you need to. The only one I would say maybe is the 705A. On particular maps,
it's unique.
You would want a little bit more than a week's worth of training to understand. But you know, maybe Chief run this through and they know what they want to do with it. I mean, it is the equivalent of an E100. It's just a lower profile tank in essence.
Yep. A little better gun handling, and then that's really about it. Because the premium pen is not better, because it's 317 heat compared to E100's 330. But maybe they just have it there for decaps to peek at C7. I didn't even see this. I don't know what spawns, who spawns who, but
Chief have got the
Chief have got the other spawn. All right.
West spawn. Yeah. So yeah, that's a really interesting one in terms of where it goes. I could understand if they were going to put it on the east spawn, run it down on that sort of D line where the bunker is, overlooking the camp, the cap, even. But be interesting.
I think based on ONUR6's play style and Chief's play style, that we're going to see a fight, a push, try for an overmatch somewhere along the. One of these flanks. I can't tell you where it's going to happen, but I know ONUR6 likes to do it, and I know Chief isn't afraid to get into a fight, so I don't think they're going to back down from it. So we'll see.
Chief definitely would pride themselves lately on being capable brawlers, and ONUR6 is certainly not shy of throwing their tanks into a fight.
That's unfortunate. Laser's getting spotted. Lasers didn't even spot anyone on his little journey up there on the ridge, leaving the 277 crossing for free. Magna was open there, but I think IB Stux has got overview on where Lasers peaked. Yeah, he does. It's going to be interesting.
It's a very good position for the Batchat as well, of box. But I mean, in essence, he's there just to spot, because as soon as he fires, he'll get spotted in return. I mean, he's in a good position to duck and dive from shots, but his gun's out of the game, shall we say. His eyes on.
Yeah, I think we're about to see a fight here in a couple seconds. The way that both teams are
box
setting
gets
up.
spotted, takes a shot.
Jeez.
Box being there though is kind of a deterrent, because then those WZs will have to stay just poking there in the super conk. Throws
Yeah,
the
on
shot
your 6,
side.
even though it doesn't look like it, on your 6 has given up a lot of map control. I know Laser's guarding the back door, but no one's guarding the F-line push. They have no one that could spot that if Chief would bring any players down. These Lasers would not have vision on that. Hit points, though, is staying even. I mean, 3% difference.
Yeah, they seem to be trading effectively with each other. Looks like Boxhound's just been working away at that 50B up on the ridge, almost to the point where he's now having to sort of remove himself from the game to just not get farmed.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting unspotted to come back out, but with Box still being there, it'd just be a constant game of cat and mouse. She's currently up 4% on hit points. It's always difficult to tell, though, isn't it? Because
I think ONUR6 is making a play here on Magna. They're gonna get punished for it, though. I don't know that they have no way to be supported. Going right into the gun line of Chief's medium tanks.
Chief gonna counter push here. But then you got ONUR6.
Yeah, ONUR6 is also
behind
gonna
him as
push,
well.
though. And a 50B on top. This might be bad for Chief. It's about to be a 3-on-5. ONUR6 coming in.
That shot coming in to help
down.
out.
They have to kill Killatrilla. And ONUR6's batch shot also coming in. There. Magna's gonna die for this.
Now everybody pushing in.
Everybody's coming in, yep.
It's just gonna be a match, just focus fire. And
you know, I don't know how many
both
shells
teams seem
Lasers
to
have
do
left,
it.
but Lasers missed the final kill on hatchback. That's unfortunate.
really close hit points wise at the moment. 50B is now reloaded.
Patanji is about to say, is he reloaded? Raided's gonna die for that then. Ooh,
He just put his
Pernix
kick.
needed to kill Raided. Raided's one
Still
shot, that's what
pretty
they gotta be
even.
focusing on.
3
Hard
tanks
drain
apiece
coming in.
destroyed as Chief take out one of ONUR6's, and ONUR6
This is
return
gonna
it
be-
again.
That
With Far
shot's
Dragon
out
coming in
reloading.
though, and Lasers almost reloaded. I'm thinking this might head towards ONUR6 for this one, of course. Oh, never mind, hang on. I didn't see Stux coming in, I thought he was far away on the map. Gonna kill Pernix. Ooh, but Mystic Ben goes down, Lasers is reloaded. 50B in a bat shot on a...
Need to kill him.
Killing Stux.
Through.
Ooh, decisive. Can they kill Patanji? Not quite. Now it's decisive versus a Super Conk, and Boxhound though, I think he can kill both Patanji and the Lasers if he's fully loaded.
He doesn't see him coming up from behind. But the bat shot's reloading.
Yeah, I was about to say
Ooh.
Lasers is reloading in this engagement. Oh, but so is
Is he gonna
Boxhound.
have enough?
Boxhound on the
And then-
reload now as well.
Far Dragon's losing his 1v1 against decisive.
This Far Dragon had more hit points at the start as well.
Oh, they're calling kill decisive, which I think is actually the correct play here.
Yeah, just eliminate that single shot.
Instead of chasing the batch it all
there we
around.
go.
Here we go. Up the
Good
Boxhound.
shot,
This
yeah.
is still winnable for him. This is still
Yeah,
a winnable game.
Foxhound's just about reloaded.
Lasers being out and Far Dragon be definitely one shot. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this. How both teams play this, because a Super Conk might get caught out here. Nope, Foxhound flexing down. This is interesting. That was a very close fight. Both teams, I'd say, did well on pushes and counter pushes.
I think ONUR6 came out of that though, the Rosier, just because they had a hit point deficit going into it, and they just seemed to capitalize on it from word go.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chief just had too many tanks not close enough to share the hit points that were being lost, because they had both their medium tanks in their back and a medium tank on the side, but Laser's getting shot and not doing anything in return.
So both of ONUR6's tanks now in a one shot. I can't quite see how many hit points Boxhound has, but he's taken a reload.
Foxhound is 792.
So he's easily
So he's
a two shot.
he's a two-shot. Yep. This is going to be interesting. If Boxhound, this is rough for both teams to win, honestly, because the Boxhound has advantages and ONUR6 has advantages, with ONUR6 only having to put in 2 shots. So if Boxhound goes in for, let's say, a YOLO, and he accounts on one of them missing, well, if one of them doesn't miss, or if one of them misses and one gets a shot, then he's still a one-shot kill. And if he doesn't kill the batch at first, that might be rough to win. But at the same time, ONUR6, a little
the
scared
pressure is
right
on
now.
Boxhound, because as it stands, ONUR6 will take the win with most tanks destroyed.
Yep.
The Box
And
has to
ONUR6
be the
knows that.
aggressor.
With the way that ONUR6 is playing right now, I'd say it's
The
a mini
logical
turtle.
choice here for Box would be to go up into ONUR6's spawn. Because there's no other way that he's going to be able to get shots in them without exposing himself.
I know this isn't Call of Duty, but there is a peeker's advantage, I'd say. If Boxhound knows where they're at, he has a rough idea of where they could be, you know, with the speed of the Super Conqueror, and he knows that the Batchat's not going to want to go away from him. So, this
Really
might be an
this
interesting
position
play
he's
here.
going into.
If Laser's spotted, and
there it
they're
is.
both spotted. Boxhound is, he got spotted though too.
Oh!
Now they have information on him, and I don't think he's going to be able to leave that. I think he's stuck at that rock. This is going to be rough for Boxhound now, getting caught there. And
I mean,
yeah, he's going to be perma spotted the whole time. Oh, one shot in.
The Boxhound now
He's stuck there.
would be a 1 for either of them.
That is unfortunate. You know, as bad as it sounds, if he would have YOLO'd, he might have got it. As bad as it sounds. Ooh, ooh. Fire Dragon should have took a blind shot there. Oh, he did. It was just too late.
He
should have
did,
fired
yeah,
that earlier.
but he missed.
If I was Fire Dragon, as soon as you
Yeah, he
because
should have been
in-
pre-aimed on that spot
Yep.
as soon as he got spotted to know that the Batchat was there for a shot.
Yep, because in our game, in the console version, there's not a 3-second delay in between spots in Sixth Sense, so he knew instantaneously when he got spotted, so he should have instantly pulled the trigger. And the APCR on that Conqueror, I believe, has very fast shell velocity, but I could be wrong because I do not personally own one. One of the tank lines I still want to get. Boxhound running out of time
Coming in
here.
now into the
He's going to make a
last
play.
He's
Now-
going
couple
to
of seconds.
This Lasers could low roll him here. Lasers has, like, I do believe that a 105 can low roll for lower than 350. Whoop.
Brilliant shot from Box. And I mean, that ties it. He doesn't have to push here.
I actually don't know what happens here. Is this a redo then? They replay this map?
No, so the game will end a draw, neither team will get a point, and it will move on to the next spawn. So
Oh, okay.
really,
Alright.
Chief staring a defeat in the face there of Boxhound's managed to clutch it out.
That was
Not quite a win, but certainly better than a loss.
I mean, that was good games on, good plays on both teams, really. Wow. Three
Yeah,
on your
Chiefs
6
didn't go
members.
the long way in the beginning as well, so it was really unfortunate for ONUR6 to have that bat spotted early and then have to back out and not spot the rest of them.
And I think, you know, I know no one won this match, but if I would have to give it, it'd have to be ONUR6 just because they were at the hit point deficit in the beginning and they came back in that little middle skirmish. But at the same time, Boxhound managed to bring a 2v1 down to a 1v1. So, you know, even though it was a draw, I feel like both teams kind of won mini fights inside the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Chief has started to become renowned for losing their first game, so in their camp, they'll certainly be frustrated that they haven't won, but kind of a little bit relieved that they didn't lose their first game.
I agree. It was weird because that match was at the beginning of the match, Chief won. Middle of the match, ONUR6 won. End of the match, Chief won. You know, but I'm interested to see what's gonna happen this next time around. I didn't manage to get a look on how that 705A did, which is what I was actually interested in. So I'm actually gonna go back in and see what he was able to do.
The
anyone
430U certainly performed. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he,
the 430U is amazing for comp.
he
Like,
took on that 1v1 really well. I mean, it eventually went down to a 2v1, but he whittled down. I think it was a super conk he was facing, but
Yep. I think that what won them the game there was that, or what didn't, let me phrase it, I know they drew, but what helped ONUR6 out a lot there was their 50B on the Overwatch, and no one was shooting him. So he was able to get clip after clip after clip off onto Chiefs players, and at the same time, Chief was not shooting him, or they had no one to go shoot him. So he was just able to farm.
yeah, in the beginning, Box was farming him in the back chat across the map, but then ONUR6 kind of baited that really well. I don't know if that was their intention. They pulled Chief down into a path where the 50B wouldn't get farmed by the back chat and actually support his team down low. So
100%.
whether it was intended or not, it was a good play on ONUR6's part, and I think that's what gave them the turnaround on that.
I agree, but I think you're going to see with these two teams, that's going to be every single round. It's going to be overmatch, looking for overmatch pushes and counter pushes. I think both these teams are going to be very head-on, and you're going to see them fighting in that little skirmish that we saw. I think if I had to guess these next couple rounds, that's what we're going to get into. And that's honestly the most exciting stuff to watch, so I'm happy. It's just going to be down to focus fire and coordination.
Looking at that first game on kind of where both teams can improve for the rest of the games is, I think I saw early on Chief made a lot of unnecessary pokes, and took
same with
damage from that. And and I'd say the same with ONUR6, and maybe needed to not necessarily focus better, but make sure that their shots count.
Yeah, what I saw, and this is just out of ONUR6, is ONUR6 left. I saw two different one-shots where vehicles shot other vehicles and what were the one-shots. Now, I don't know if it was, called that way, not to shoot the one-shots, but as long, they could have had two guns out of the game, 15 seconds earlier, had they killed those one-shots. Now, again, they might have been called to focus someone else, but, that is that. So then I think the best...
Go ahead, Tank.
No, you're good, you're good. I don't need to say that.
So, 19, it is technically 1-1 right now in terms of score.
No, 0-0. Neither team wins. Neither team gets a point.
Okay, so just
continues,
right?
Yeah. So it's 0-0, but one game played.
Gotcha.
So, in essence,
is
a
it
draw
still best of 3?
As useless as a... still best of 5.
Okay, so they still have to win. Yeah, that's what I meant to say, best of 5. So they still have to win 3 then? Or do they only have to win 2?
Yes.
Okay.
They still have to win 3, yeah.
Alright. That's interesting. That doesn't really count against you or for you then. It's just kind of... I mean, it's not a replay, but... Do we know whose map pick this was, by the way? Out of curiosity?
It was ONUR6's.
Yeah.
So this is actually worse for ONUR6.
And they opted to sacrifice their home team advantage in first map pick.
So this actually, I mean, even though it was a draw, this hurts ONUR6 more, because they get to not win their first match on their map, and they get to move on to the second match, and this would be their first victory on their map, and they have to go right into playing Chief on the map that Chief's been training for. So...
Exactly. The draw definitely came out in favour of Chief. I mean, it in terms of points didn't help anyone.
It's just unfortunate where that Super Conqueror was at the end of the game. If ONUR6 would have dropped that Super Conqueror down closer to the Batchat, like the Batchat could have only killed one of them. And so, but oh well. Both teams better get picking. I don't know how much time's left in the timer, but it'd be a lot. ONUR6 throwing up all their tanks there at the end.
If you want to run down those tanks.
Yeah, I can run down. So ONUR6 is running a Patton, 2 Batchats, 2 Super Conks, 2 5As, and a 50B. It's a very standard loadout. Yet again, they've gone with one more Batchat than last game, opting out of, I think, 277s. They're out of a 277, I should say. You want me to head down Chief too?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, well, Chief running an E4, 2 bat chats, an IS7 and a 277, which can fulfill the same exact rules as one another, and 2 super conks and a 430U. The 430U worked well for them last time. I believe they swapped out a 705A for a... What is that? Another super conker? Or is that a 705A for a 277? I honestly can't remember,
Yeah,
but they did
would
swap
have
that
been-
705A.
They swapped out
For
the
something.
IS7 for a 277 and then swapped out the E4 for the 705A.
I think on your 6...
I know on this spawn, Chief like to run the total strat, but with that lineup, it doesn't look like that's what they're going to be doing.
I mean, with on your 6 doing that too, and they might be a little bit more afraid to try new stuff with as close as that game was. I think they're going to play safe, and I don't think they're going to push on 2 tanks that are by themselves this game. On your 6, on the other hand, though, bringing another batch at and bringing a 50B, I think they're going to push. They're going to be the ones who initiate the push again. So we'll see how Chief plays into that.
It's interesting, it's the first time I've seen Chief not run 250Bs, or even any 50Bs on this map.
Yeah, that is a good point. You know, they do like running their 50Bs. Maybe are the players here? I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know who plays 50Bs for them, but maybe they're...
Yeah, I mean, I think from the lineup, Revered wasn't there, but Cruz is filled in. And the rest of their play, I mean, all of them are competent.
I know
enough to
Rated
play
plays.
50B.
Yeah, but I know Rated plays the 50B, and Cruz is more than capable. And so is Magna, probably, but it looks like they're
Early
favoring
on your
the
6, sent
new tanks.
2 bats up to the hill. Chief sending the 1, spotting both of their bat chats for it.
On your 6 is going to have definitely positional advantage if they choose to rush decisive power here. Astro taking a shot, though. Yeah, the 5As are definitely going to get there before the Super Conks and the 277s have even gotten to position. Ooh, now you see this? Chief is setting up for a bait right here. Chief has massive cross shots on this. It's essentially the same area where on your 6 pushed them, or the way they counter pushed. Chief is now set up cross shots all along there, but they have. It's funny, is no team sent anyone out into the airfield
Yeah,
or any side shots, so Cruz is
I mean, I'd say
kind of by himself.
positionally on your 6 have more of the map to control, but Chief are kind of set up in a strat to counter it, so it's not as effective.
Chief is set up to counter the rush. All of Chief's tanks are in position where they can fall back, and all of their tanks can shoot at the same position. Like Boxhounds has shot on Magna, and Ice has shots also on Magna and also on Hatchback and Cruz, and Mystical Ben, Decisive Power has shots on everyone. And these on your 6 bat chats better be careful on where they're peeking. They keep peeking these ridges sooner or later. You know, 277 and a 430 are going to land a shot, and that's a lot of hit points for a bat chat to lose.
On your 6 is 50B there was just firing off 3 rounds, managed to pen 1 of the 3, but missing 2 on Boxhound in the distance.
I don't know if Chief knows this, but if they would send a player to D9, the D9 spot actually has shots down into that bat chat that keeps poking. Very clear shots down into Patangi. Because it is an elevated position. But it doesn't appear that they're going to be taking advantage of that. This is interesting. It's just going to be a stalemate.
Patangi looks to be rotating back out to another position, maybe to help. I think on your 6 are going to plan for a push.
This is going to be first team to push. It's probably going to lose. So we'll see who has more patience here.
ONUR6 definitely doesn't want to be the first team to push, especially with Hatch and the E4. It all depends on which way they decide to push.
You know, the best thing they could do right now, the best thing ONUR6 could do is send Patangi out to that same spot they had. Who was it? Stux? Was Stux the last one alive last time?
Box out, yeah. Out in the...
box out.
the
Send him out to
there.
this rock out here. We're gonna see. Ooh, what a stalemate. Both teams mirroring each other, though. It's kind of weird if you look at the map. Like, the only players that are not mirrored is lasers being out there in front. You know, if ONUR6 wanted, they could bring their patent up to a place where lasers is, and then take lasers and the other batch ad up the J line. When they would only be able to get shot by Magna.
Ray
and
took a
box
shot
out
there
box
from
out
the
shots.
5A, so ONUR6 have the hit point advantage as it stands.
Now, does the hit point... Okay. Does it calculate,
I mean,
like...
it doesn't come into anything. It goes first and foremost on cap or kill all, and then we'll go down to most tanks killed if needs be, but none of us can be bothered to whip out the old calculator and try and figure it all out.
Yeah, I was about to say, does it account, does our hit bars up top, does that account for the fact that one team might have more hit points, so it's showing the percentage taken off of their hit points? Because both teams could theoretically have the same amount of hit points left, even though it's saying that, you know, Chief only has 90% of their hit points left.
Yeah,
exactly,
and that's...
Or Chief
that's
might
why
have
that's
more
kind
hit
of-
points, so...
It's
Yep.
unreliable to use that as a gauge, because, you know, one team could have two Type 5 heavies,
Mouses.
two Mouses,
Yep.
two E100s.
Because I think on PC it shows actual numbers. This
Yeah.
kind of stuff, so it gives you hit point totals instead of hit point bars, which are very misleading, in my opinion. So Chief could just still be on the same foot. They've just given up their extra hit points that they would have had before. They, you know, ONUR6 needs to get this patent in the game, though. Stevie's doing absolutely nothing, and Stevie won't be able to do nothing if Chief pushes. So they really need to pull this patent up soon. With, you know, 3 minutes left of the game to go, the patent's not a fast tank. The patent needs to start moving now. Hopefully their caller sees that.
Yeah, I definitely think around the 2-minute, 33-minute mark, there's going to be a call for a push.
Agreed.
I don't know if that leaves either team enough time to get it out, to get all tanks out.
Yeah, Stevie needs to start moving. It appears that he is moving, but is he... I think he's moving for another sniping position instead of moving to get up in the fight, which they could really use that patent's DPM and its semi-reliable armor up there on the front lines.
It's definitely a difficult position, like, for both teams, because both teams are hunkered down and you have to push over into them. So your push, in essence, loses you a lot of hit points for that.
However, as we were talking before, this is ONUR6's map to lose, right? This is their match to lose. If they lose this, they have to go fight Chief on Chief's map. And unless ONUR6 can get 2 draws against that, you know, I think we might see a ghost town in the mix for tonight.
Well, it certainly will. If this game ends in a draw, it kind of has to go to Ghost Town to settle the best of 5.
ONUR6 needs to push the batch jets now. Up the flank. You need to go now. Lasers in. Batch jets need to drop down and push, or the batch jets need to rotate over, get ready to push. Oh, Chief's making a play here.
All grouping up on the lower side as they start to
pushing
begin
up.
their push.
Fortunately for ONUR6, they have a lot of their tanks there to set up that shots. And iStux is going to be flanking, though. They're going to push Fish. Fish is going to get pushed out. Fish is in a inopportune position, but the ONUR6 is going to push the Super Conquerors at the same time in the Bat Jets.
Chiefs definitely losing the early HP advantage.
Fish is still alive. They need to kill Fish. Fish is the lowest thing. It's the first tank dead wins. I mean, minute 22.
He's put himself in
Batchets
a
are
really
coming
good
in.
position though. They have to expose themselves to do anything about it.
Ooh, Sergeant Cruz getting a ram. One of the Batchets dead. Killing Patangi.
Still one apiece.
Decisive needs to get in there. Chief, though, with multiple one-shots for all of ONUR6's tanks. Astro just waiting for this 430U. And Magnet a peek. Cruz is going to fall here, yep. ONUR6 is going to push from the other side, kill Magna. Rated M's a one-shot. Stevie's going to lead that push. Oh no, Fish is going to come around.
There's 30 seconds left on the clock. ONUR6 have a 6-2 tank lead advantage.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
I don't know why
You called
Decisive is
it.
going into this.
Decisive here could void their point bonus if he stays alive.
I don't know if he will, though. I don't think Astro might be able to chase him down. Astro's a one-shot, though. Yep, gets him. Alright, well. ONUR6 winning one of the sides to their map, so let's get Chief in here. Chief's map pick, and it's going to be interesting. Decisive again in the 430U, putting in work. Just shows how powerful that tank's going to be for console comp.
That is definitely a game Magnum will want to forget. 10 fired, 3 hit, and 0 pens for 0 damage.
Mm-hmm. And that tank has very good premium rounds. Well, I mean, look at the damage spread on ONUR6, so like that's got to show something. Every 6 of their vehicles, 2k damage. Some touching 3k, but that's a very even damage spread, aside from the Batchats that died, but a very even damage spread.
Siegfried Line is the next map pick.
Siegfried Line, this is going to be interesting. Alright, I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to go grab a glass of water.
Alrighty. So ONUR6 taking the advantage after 2 games. It scores a 1-all. 1-0 even. Bloody hell.
Now, is it the war version or is it the normal version for Siegfried?
So
Look, I'm double checking now.
Siegfried Line normal encounter.
No. Wow, really close maps at the start, or games at the start. The last game, though, was kind of a stalemate until the final push.
It's always a risky play doing that, because like Tankella said, the first team to push is more than likely going to lose, just because you give up the advantage of, you set your tanks up in a position to be held down to deal with any shots, and then you expose yourself into essentially everyone's shots. It was one point just looked like the screen was blue from all of ONUR6's shots being fired through.
And do you believe that ONUR6 kind of forced Chief's hand into pushing, or because no one just wants to sit there and wait till it's clocked to run out? I mean, but Chief ended up making the push in the end. I don't know if
I think in hindsight, although ONUR6 had the 2 bats, the push that Chiefs made was the logical choice. It avoided being cross-shot by the bat chats. But without that information and knowing where the pattern was, essentially Chiefs had the upper hand. If they could have put everyone together on the corner to do that push, they would have had the overmatch in terms of guns in the fight. It certainly, having a look back at the damage spread, it just looked like Chiefs didn't do anything effectively in their push. They got bled out pretty well, and from there on, your Six's focus fire was just on point. And when you think about it, on your 6 had 3 autoloaders to Chief's 2, so really, in terms of tanks being on reloads, Chief had the advantage there.
Yeah, that's right.
And they had the alpha of the E4 as well. I know it's not the fastest tank in a push, but 800 damage certainly stings.
Yes, it does.
So Siegfried Line is Chief's map pick. They said they were okay with not choosing the spawn, so we've kept them here on the right side.
I think you're going to see
Seen a little
Chiefs
bit of
with
this
the 50
in the European server. They all tend to wait till the last minute to avoid any counter picking. Looks like it's followed over towards the Americas.
I know for
I think being
all
in the camp
matches
there,
we
it's...
play. Yeah,
Sorry, say that again?
I'm just saying all the matches we play, we just throw all of our tanks up throughout the tank pick, you know? I mean, people say, like, counter pick this, counter pick that, but, like, I mean, you can counter pick the tanks, but you don't know the strat, so if you don't know the strat, counter picking is useless. You know?
Exactly.
And
I
then
mean,
you run
do
into
you
the
really
risk
want to try and
Yeah.
counter pick something when you already have a strat in mind? Like,
Exactly. And you don't want to
you're
run
picking
into
your
the
tanks
situation.
because it works, you know? It's
Mhm.
part of your plan of what you're going to do.
You don't want to run into the situation of, you know, one of your guys can't select the tank and you have 5 seconds left and, you know, none of your other guys are in the garage.
Exactly.
You know, no, starting the game without you. Because I know that happened to us against N. We weren't counter picking, but one of our guys could not get in the garage and we did not, or he lagged out and we did not know this, and so we had to play them 7v8. We ended up winning, but, you know, playing a tank down is, not fun. Really gotta watch out. And I know these moderators will start as soon as the timer hits 0.
Yeah, I've been pretty ruthless with it at times as well. I think I remember, I don't know if you remember, Dingy, but we started a game where there were only 4 tanks on one side and 2 on the other side. I mean, you have 3 minutes to pick. It's not hard to put up 8 tanks in that time.
Yeah, they
And really,
about
it's
that. The team that had 2, I don't know what the clans were, but yeah, they were not happy.
you think back to WCL. What was it? 2 minutes you had?
I think so. I didn't really play too much of that one. I think that was when I was
3
first
minutes
starting
is
to get into Nightmare.
3 minutes is pretty lenient, to be fair. Chief's going heavy on the autoloaders, it looks like. It's coming out with an E4, a Batchat, an IS-7, a 277, a 705A, a pair of 57 heavies, and a 50B. Your 6 yet to pick 8.
Waiting on their last tank pick. There it is. Oh, do they have too many? Oh yeah, there they go.
Multiple people selecting.
Having problems.
So this could be a scenario that you were saying earlier with NL versus N. If they can't get whoever it was to get their tank in time. But
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to play with tank down against Chief, so hopefully they can.
You wouldn't want to play a tank down against anyone, really, would you? It's
no, not at all.
It's counterintuitive. But
oh, they got their last pick. Ooh, at the last second. Whew. I think they got 8 in there.
They did. I saw an E3 and an E4 from ONUR6. E3 is not a bad choice on this map. You've just got to get it in to this town in time, and you could get unlucky and get an unfavorable spawn.
No, I think we're going to see it again. This is going to be a brawl map. Even though this is Chief's map, I think we're going to see a fight again. It's going to be interesting to see how Chief does to use all of their auto-loading potential. Like, they have such a push potential in their lineup with the E4, the 705A, and all 4 of their auto-loaders, actually, right? Yeah, TV17, 750B, Batch. Yeah, 4 of their auto-loaders.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting ploy here by Chief, because they've sort of said quite openly that their go-to map is Himmelsdorf. Being 1-0 down, you would have thought they would have pulled that out. But maybe they're a bit hesitant with how effectively ONUR6 are brawling.
No, I agree. Because if ONUR6 just, plays it safe and sends everyone to the cap circle, it turns into a bloodbath. Ooh, that E4 getting a terrible spawn from ONUR6. I would be very upset if I got that spawn in that vehicle. And the E3 getting pushed by Kilotrilla in the 5A. I'm sorry, the E4 getting pushed by Kilotrilla in the 5A, my bad.
I'd quite like to have seen, I don't know what Chief's strategy is with this, but maybe even a light tank being pulled out early just to get those early spots, get up there quite aggressively, get some early shots in potentially as well.
We've used light tanks before, and honestly the maps that they're the most useful on are Westfield and Prohavatka. Those big open maps like this where there's even any city component at all, light tanks start to fall to medium tanks, such as the Batch at the 140. Even though, the small advantages they have, the tier 10 meds just extenuate those a lot more than the medium tanks can. But a light tank, they can make it work. Any strat can work. It's gonna be interesting.
With this being having sort of a city component to it, you still have the opportunity to get in behind the team on this, and they're all exposed. It kind of forces them to either turn around or commit into the town.
I think we're going to see a push on lasers here in a second. Ooh, lasers getting nice shots in the box hound though. Box hound getting safe out of in the range. It's a switch of things.
Take a shot for his sins.
It's a switch of things. ONUR6 has won the initial engagements.
Yeah. Been really impressed with ONUR6 how they've managed to turn things around lately. There was a real patch where they were just not really in form. I don't think they had their strongest lineup available with them, but seems like they've certainly been working on a lot of things and it's showing.
I think you're about to see a push onto ONUR6's bat chat.
The audio now in this game is horrendous. I don't know whose tank it is that I spawned in on, but all I can hear is a lawnmower.
Oh no, that's actually
I'm getting the same thing.
The camera, it'll rev.
Yeah, they tied an engine noise to the camera for some stupid reason.
If you would go forward, the engine will rev. If you go back, the engine will rev.
ONUR6 just seem to be aware of everything. They just seem to be on it. That Batchat was in a position to be overmatched and you called the push, but he realised it straight away and has backed out. Gone into the support of his team, saying, come on.
ONUR6 is cornering themselves right here, though. It's gonna be rough for either team to push, because Chief has to push into a bunch of hull down, vehicles, including 2 E4s and a 705A, and then, ONUR6 would have to push out into a bunch of different crossfires. So, you know, I hate to say this, the first team that's going to push is going to lose, again.
I wonder if it would be possible to bring the two bat chats back with the 50B and do a zero line push down for Chief to just try and get some side shots into the two tanks over here on the right.
It would.
But
you know,
I
that
don't know
would
if they
actually be a
get
really good play. But do they have the time is the question, because that bat chat would have to rotate all the way back around as well as rated. So I think...
I mean, it's still 5.5 minutes, there is time. It's just a question of how early will they be spotted doing that.
I don't think they would be spotted, because ONUR6 has no vision out, but it would just be... It would take a solid... I'd say at least a minute for Box Sound to get back there as well as rated. So that puts them as 4 minutes to make the push, 30 seconds to make the push. They're at, you know, with 3.5 minutes to go.
Ooh, Magna took a big hit.
But the E4 landed a shot right there? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell you what, man, E4 is 850 alpha. Got, what is it, 396 millimeters of APCR pen. Those things are brutal.
I don't know if this is a bad night for Chief or ONUR6 genuinely have them spooked, because this is just not a Chief team that I've seen.
I mean, ONUR6 beats my team. They do very good against us on very city-oriented maps. And so, you know, you can't sleep on teams that, you know, have been bad in the past, and they're performing exceptionally well this season.
Looks like Magna's
I don't
gonna
know.
drop out, rotate somewhere else.
I don't know if that's because, you know, ONUR6 has maybe changed callers. I know Cutter's been calling for a while, but Cutter isn't here, so I think Patangi calls for them.
From what
I don't know.
From what I know, Patangi and the Fish Fan rotate calling.
Okay, so they might be co-calling this match, and it seems to be performing very well for them. Even though, I mean, against a team such as Chief. Because I think going into this, you would have definitely said ONUR6 is the underdogs. You know, based on points
Based
and
on
just, you know,
form,
overall
yeah.
team performance, but ONUR6 is holding their own.
I mean,
No,
for
they're holding their own.
considering this is a championship league, would you consider anybody an underdog? Like, I guess what I'm just trying to say is every team is. But I,
Yes,
I kind of know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
any team could win, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, there's certainly favourites within the league, but yeah, I mean, in this league more than any, it could go either way.
Magna getting into an interesting position to counter Killa. I don't think Killa realizes that Killa's going to lose, but 590 health here. But does Lasers have shots onto Magna if Magna keeps doing that? Yes, he does. There we go. One shot into Magna. Magna can't beat that. Ooh, but Lasers getting spotted for the batch out in the field. It's interesting. Their E4 needs to stop peeking. Chiefs
do seem to have the hit point advantage by a considerable amount.
Rady's making a play now to go kill a Trilla. Oh no, he's not. Even though
I think he got proxy spotted there, maybe, and that's just kind of halted that. I know he would have been spotted by the 5A.
Trilla's gotta be careful. Trilla is definitely the one to kill right now. Boxhound can get easy side shots onto him if Boxhound continues to move up, and I believe Trilla will probably be the first one dead.
Rated caught napping there as one of ONUR6's 5As came out. Rated now pushing in for a 2-on-1. That's not really going to work out for him.
What's that T57 Heavy doing? Him losing hit points too. ONUR6 starting to pull it back. Oh, Crew's killing Trilla. That's a good trade. Now they have no one guarding the back except for a batch in the form of Lasers, but Lasers is about to take the full fire of 3 heavy tanks, including the T57 Heavy.
Magna effectively has to remove himself from this game now, being the lowest hit points, and pretty much a fart would take him out. Chief putting the pressure on to ONUR6 now. They have to push in, being attacked down.
Yeah, I think they're just going to safeguard Magna. Magna is the key to their success right now. I think this game's going to be waited out, and it's going to be a default win for Chief.
I said it before, and I think as they do sort of cement that now, going 2 tanks ahead, I think this more than anything is going to cost Chief their sort of push towards the title. Is they just seem they've now played 3 games. This being their 3rd where they haven't scored maximum points in any.
And it's a tie game now. ONUR6 1 win and Chief with another win. Although Chief has a lot of one-shots.
ONUR6 could pull this back in the dying seconds.
Ammo rack on Sergeant Cruz. Oh, no.
No. There we go.
If both
Chief stealing it out with 3 kills.
That was a
to 1.
close game, though. Super
Brings
close
scores
game.
to 1-all.
Hatchback put in work. None of ONUR6's players seeming to get any meaningful damage there, meaningful shots at all.
So, score 1-all. Going into the second side of Chiefs map pick. Just joined us earlier.
Now, what happens if, theoretically, they draw this next match? Meaning the score would be 1-1 going into Ghost Town. Would they play 2 rounds on Ghost Town?
No, so essentially, how it works, I mean, it's great to have that best of 5 win, but it's not essential for the league to have it. If you don't manage to pull out 3 wins and take the series, you shoot yourselves in the foot, really. You lose the 3 bonus points for doing that. So, on the night, say for instance, this now ends, say for instance, ONUR6 win the next game and then it goes to Ghost Town and they win, it will end in 3-1 and the bonus points will go to ONUR6, and likewise for Chief. But if ONUR6 win this next one and Chief win the tiebreaker on Ghost Town, neither team gets the bonus points. Scores will remain 2-2.
Well, that's rough with the Mortals being, in the lead right now in terms of points.
Yeah, as rampant as they have been. I mean, I think they've only lost 1 game so far.
That's what happens when you have NS and the Mortals playing on the same team. Some of the best players in the game playing there, so.
But I mean, even that, a lot of people have said the same about Chief, getting in Revered and Magna and
Cruz.
Sergeant Cruz. But you look at ONUR6 and I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but they're not a team the same as what Immortals is. But as a team, they're proving to be really strong.
Yeah, they're playing very well together.
Above all else, it's kind of a crucial part to any team. Is you don't necessarily have to have people with the highest WNA. You just need to have a couple of people who play well with each other and get on with each other, and of course an effective caller. It's certainly a map I would have said you could pull the 705A out on. Looks like Chief are going to go with that. Still sticking to those 257 heavies and the 50B.
countdown has started. 2 minutes. 1 minute remaining.
ONUR6 sticking with those two high alpha TDs. Coming out with two E4s, a batch at 277, 257 heavies, a Super Conqueror and a 5A. Chiefs on the other side coming out with there we go, I called it, a 2100 LT, an E4, an IS7, a 277, 705A, 257s and a 50B. And it's certainly going to be tense for both teams because one of them needs to win if they want to take it to Ghost Town and try and get the series win. A draw here will just make it irrelevant. This round we won't even go to Ghost Town, it will end in 1-1.
This round is the deciding factor on the rest of the games. Whoever wins this is the only possible team to win in the end. So I think it's going to affect both teams' play styles, and, you know, I don't want to see it, but we might see two turtles here.
Make a change from the last 3 games that we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a boring game to watch if they're turtles, but both sides may turtle. I mean, I know ONUR6 kind of turtled last game, and, you know, the bottom right-hand corner of the map, but...
But I think towards the end of the series you might see less turtles because I was just looking at the scores you posted them up earlier, 19. Like the bonus points are making a big difference in people's points towards the end there.
Well,
it's
this
only
is what
second
I'm saying, and this is where Chief, and like I said earlier, they don't seem to be able to see out a max point victory.
ONUR6
points
Heavy's
already.
got a terrible spawn. Or no, Chiefs Heavy's got a terrible spawn. Magnet
seems like that
south
side of the map. That south side of the map, man, it gets the like like I swear to God, it's only the south side of the map there that gets those spawns, like the bad spawns.
Yeah, because Chief is gonna. I mean, Laser's gonna obviously get spotted before the T100 LT is. Laser's spotting the T100 LT, but. You know, all of ONUR6's members are in town. They're safe. That T100 LT was just negated, and now they're going to go set lasers up in a bush somewhere in the back, and T100 LT won't be able to outspot a batch that's sitting in a bush. So, that T100 LT advantage that they just got for the cross shots was just negated by the fact that, wow, Mr. Number 1 is playing super aggressive here. Super aggressive for that
coming
team.
out on top in the early exchanges, it looks like. I think
ONUR6 is getting map position though. They have to be careful.
In large part due to Chief's unfortunate spawn with the 2 heavies, the 57 heavy and the 277. They've had to
I agree.
Station out back. That's not where you want those 2 heavies for sure.
I know the 277 could play back, but the 277 has phenomenal heat rounds in terms of their shell velocity and their penetration, but I wish, you know, I keep saying this to my clanmates, I wish they would have given us the unnerfed 277 from PC where it had 350 APCR pen. That would have made a nice little premium spam tank. And here we go. T100 LT making a move to try to get some vision out, but Lasers is back there in a bush. Back there actually in a tree.
Quite see what hit Stux, but he took a pretty big hit as well. Chiefs seem to have lost their early hit point advantage. It's now 91 to 90%.
I just want to, if you guys can take a look at how stupid the marks look on the 705A. Mystical Ben has his 2 marked up and...
Very far into the gunman there, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You know, Wargaming could fix this, but just removing just a little bit of that gun shield. Not the gun shield, the gun,
the cloth.
It's not a sheath, but
like
yeah, just the cloth.
Dude. So I was always wondering how they were going to do that, and I guess not.
Okay.
Now we see.
Lasers is gaining map position on Boxhound now. Lasers is chasing Boxhound out. They've noticed that Boxhound is not going to have any support. However, Chief is rotating tanks out to shoot lasers. If Lasers continues on that push, so I think he's going to disengage.
Rated is putting in some fire there. Rated almost got him out. One more shot. Ooh. He got punished for that.
Laser needs to run. Laser's dead here. Can't outrun a T100 LT.
It's almost
Can't outsmart a
would be
T100
worth
LT.
in this with Box not being a one-shot, just trying to get Lasers out.
Lasers is dead, yep. T100 LT gun handling's gonna give him the victory here. Oh. Ooh, maybe? Maybe Box can run away.
Still, it's got to fit in the needle.
He's got to chase, though. This Lasers needs to get out of there. I don't know if Lasers can, though. I really don't. I don't know if the Batchat... I mean, the Batchat's fast, but is it T100 LT fast? Oh, it's looking... He makes it. Barely. Wow.
That could be a game changer in the end.
Yeah, if Chief would have brought that guy up sooner. Maybe.
ONUR6 completely sacrificing the city here.
I think ONUR6 is going to push Sergeant Cruz and Need a Disc here, based on where their tanks are getting lined up at. You know, Need a Disc being a one-shot for a lot of the 130s, and Cruz being an autoloader, he only has 4 shots, and he's by himself. Tangy getting spotted, though. Ooh, Cruz taking some hits.
Focus. E4 might push from behind.
I believe Fish is pushing from behind. ONUR6 dying, though, in return. They need to kill Cruz and Need a Disc. That needs to be the game plan right now. ONUR6 has got to make a move. They are down a tank. Killer Trilla's going to get pushed. They need to push. Yep, they're going to lose Killa. Then ONUR6 needs to push now. They need to kill both Cruz and Disc. They need to go now. Good kill. Now they need to go kill Need a Disc.
Foxhound going to get lasers out. There's lasers. No,
advantage here. 3 tanks to 1.
Oh, Need a Disc falling though.
3 to 2.
Mystic Ben's a one-shot. Mystic Ben's dead. Stevie's gonna be the next
3
focus on
still
the Chief.
even.
Stevie's gonna die to a 50B and an IS-7.
Magna needs to be the priority here, or maybe even Stux. Just those two being on such low health.
I think the next push here is gonna be on the IS-7. Stux, yep, they're pushing both their T-57 heavies into Stux. Yep, Stux is gonna go down here.
2 bounce.
But ONUR6 do eventually get it. Foxhound gets
but
the kill
immediately
as well.
taking out Patanji though.
Fish bounced off.
Fish has got to hit Magna.
He bounced one.
Magna.
Rated coming in.
That E4 armor though, being E4 armor. ONUR6 still has a chance here, but it appears that Pernix is just gonna get clipped out of this occasion. Killing here. T-57 heavy.
That was a 1 versus 3.
Again, that was a
57.
super close match. You know,
Very even
back and forth trading
teams.
there. Yep.
So now that both teams' map picks are up, I guess with the game, like it's 2-1.
Ghost Town.
To Chief. Going to Ghost Town for the final game, eh?
That is affirmative. Wow, this is a good series of engagements there at the end for Chief. They did very well. They did a bunch of trades. Each team was trading pushes, and just in the end, ONUR6 lost that game. You know. And then we were Ghost Town. You know, I don't think either teams were expecting to go to Ghost Town. So, you know, what are we gonna see? ONUR6 has already proved themselves, you know, capable.
I mean, I believe we'll.
Let's go to Brawls.
You think we'll Yeah, well, you think we'll see what we've been seeing all night?
Probably. But this will be the final match then. And if ONUR6 holds it to a draw, that's really a stick into the side of Chief's. Stick into the side of Chief. Really hurts him.
Certainly would be a massive blow for them in their push. And I think ONUR6, like I said, have really come on a long way. I know they have always been a very good clan, but this was certainly full them with a lot of confidence. I know speaking to Beast, he was saying that they were feeling the burn after playing the KYS clan. But with a performance like that, they'll certainly feel like they've got more of a chance now than they did before.
So who gets the spawn choice then to be home team?
Go to the home team. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be interesting. I mean, we haven't seen them yet, but I think we're going to see some super heavies. You know, aside from the 705 yet, I think we're about to see some mouses and even others dropped right here, as well as some 57 heavies. Now, I know for a fact that Cruz has some pretty good strats for this map. Now, I know Cruz won't be calling, and I know that, you know, Rated and Magna Flashboy are the primary callers for Chief. However, we're going to see what they go with, and, you know, depending on their tank lineup, out of Chief, we can see, you know, I might be able to guess what they're doing, but, you know, we're just going to see what goes on here. We know which
Chief in this map is they
sponsor.
They've come out with some pretty interesting meme strats, which
I
have
don't
actually
think they're
turned
gonna
into being viable strats.
I don't think they're going to be memeing
crucial
this
game
strat.
like this. I don't think they will. But
yeah. So left
wouldn't
equals
be surprised
southwest. So
to see it out of the ordinary tank.
Mirroring each other's picks right there. Patanji and Hatchback both picking E4s. You know, it's a pretty basic standard pick on a map such as this. M48 patent,
Yeah.
that's unique for this map. That is
Certainly
definitely
curious.
unique. 705A, good pick. 277, that can replace a IS7 in a lot of different positions. That's also a good pick. Just a little bit better gun handling than the IS7 as well as DPM, especially if they're going to set them hull down. Super Conqueror, great for this map. Yep, there it is, double mouses. Super heavies are getting dropped. See if Chief responds to that, or if they decide to go a little bit lighter.
I don't know if I haven't gotten used to the playstyle of the 277 yet, but I don't feel like it's as strong as the IS7.
Well, hull down, yes. Hull up, if that makes sense, no. Because the IS7 obviously does have the superior hull armor, and, you know, the 277 will get heat rounds straight through the hull. You know, it's the same situation as the 5A, but the 277 has very small cupolas compared to the 5A, and a much better turret and superior gun handling. So if you're going to use the IS7 and the 277, like, you're going to put an IS7 hull down anyways, right? Like, you're not going to sit an IS7 not hull down. So, you know, why not put a 277 there? Same kind of turret, better penetration, better rate of fire, better gun handling, and ONUR6 is extremely heavy. Wow. Whew, that's a lot of hit points for...
I mean, the 4005 kind of negates those, the mouse and its armor.
Kind of, but the 4005 is just going to get penned by everything.
Exactly, and with having that Panzer 7, I highly rate the Panzer 7. I don't think it gets played enough in comp.
Decisive power deselecting. Hopefully they have enough time to reselect a tank. I don't know how much time they have left in your...
I think he'd picked a tank extra, so Chief's still up with 8 and an E4 4005.
Oh,
also
yeah,
going
right.
with a pattern. NI7 a 277, 705A and 257s. Over on ONUR6, 2 E4s, 2 Mouse, 2 Super Conks at Panzer 7 and the M48 pattern.
This is interesting.
Interesting to go with the pattern over the
Batch up.
over the batch out. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not good. I don't imagine it's going to be in the role of the batch chat, just with its hull armor. Not its hull armor, its turret armor being buffed.
You know, we're gonna see a fight again. We're gonna see a bloodbath, and ONUR6, you know, even if they're down 10% hit points, according to our little charts up above, ONUR6 is not gonna be down 10% hit points. Because I can tell you right now, ONUR6 has much more hit points. At least, I'd say, based on the tank lineup, 5,000 more hit points than Chief does. And that's just based off of, you know, looking
I really
at this
would have liked to have seen. I can understand the Super Conks on a map pick like this, but when they ran the 2 Mouse, I would have thought, with needing to win this to kind of tie it up, they could have used the Mouse as the pushes with something a little bit more mobile.
Bursty?
Mouse isn't fast either.
Like a 5A
So,
or something.
Yeah.
That
Super Conks
alpha,
got great DPM.
Yep. Yeah, because I mean, if you would have ran 2 5As instead of those 2 Super Conks with the Mouses, you would have, that's at 490 4 times. That hurts. That's gonna kill a tank, you know.
And that's effectively what you want to do with the Mouse. It's the hit point
damage.
soaker. That's why you play it, and so you want to be pushing with them. So it's certainly an aggressive lineup. I hope they don't go into turtle mode with it.
Stevie's gonna die. I'm telling you right now. As soon as Chief sees Stevie there, they're gonna push him. Or they're gonna at least get a couple shots into him. But I guess ONUR6 has no idea what's about to happen based on what their tanks are looking at their tank positions. You know, neither team really has good vision on the other. But with that FE405 up there in that climb, I mean, that tank does not have good camera rating. If anything with good camera rating peaks, that FE405 is going to get spotted. It looks as if Fly Kid almost can see him. Fly Kid's going to get shot here, though. If Stuck peaks at all right here and spots Fly Kid's going to lose minimum 700 health.
Magna fired there. Missed.
Saw the tree go down. Magna got off the hill too. That should be an easy call out. You know, ONUR6 just saw where the FB was fired from. Hash rounds are very obvious. The round exploded when it hit the ground. ONUR6 is setting up for a push here. First shot's coming out. Hatchback losing hit points.
The disadvantage ONUR6 have here is if they do push with the Panzer 7 and the Mouse, they're not mobile. Chief can kind of counter that push onto somewhere else and get away with only taking 1 or 2 shots, in essence.
Yeah, you know, right now, Cruz is an easy kill for Cruz and Stucks are both easy kills for ONUR6, and they don't realize it. They need to take them. Cruz and Stucks are just they're both their TDs are out of position as well as their patch at. You know, although Magna is moving into position right now. It's gonna be interesting to see if Magna gets any shots here. Magna is gonna have an early peek here. This might be a game deciding shot with the FV. Lasers needs to look at that. Lasers immediately backs up. Okay, that's not at all the result they wanted. That's nothing. Did he splash the mouse?
I don't know if he splashed the ground.
Did he hit the gunman? Look at the mouse's gunman. It looks like he gave him an eye. The hash round right to the gunman of the mouse. I guess it only does, you know, the same damage as a 90 mil. Gonna have to hit the mouse a few more times, Magna.
If that's the rate of his rolls, I don't think he'll have enough shells to finish the mouse off.
I don't think so either. What is ONUR6 doing here? They are getting ready to... Oh, lift switching things up. Okay.
Rotating a little bit.
Then again, Chief is doing the same thing with the FE. Magna's going again, round 2 against the mouse. Maybe he'll hit him for 300 this time. Ooh, Magna might have a shot here on the E4. It's close.
Oh,
The E4 definitely has the... Magna definitely has the attention of the E4 now, as well as both of ONUR6's Super Conks. Now the Super Conks are out of the fight, but at the same time they're not, because the Super Conks can fall down back and shoot these guys whenever. This is game time, boys. This is when it all comes down here. We're almost 5 minutes left on the clock. I think we're going to start seeing some rotations and some more fancy maneuvers out of both teams. ONUR6 looking like they're getting ready to...
looks like they're
Chief
just
looking
trying
like they're getting ready to push here.
I mean, really, realistically, ONUR6 don't have to do anything. It's on Chief here to win for the series bonus.
Ooh,
ONUR6
Stuck's
can
getting
only
hit
tie
by
it.
the E4. That was a great peek. Laser's also peeking with the... Ooh, hitting Stuck's again. 570. Ooh, Laser's getting pummeled in return, though. They called the push on Lasers. The Super Conks are rotating, though.
Here comes Magna Flashboy with that 4005.
Did he hit? I didn't see if he hit there.
I didn't see any big hit points gone.
He's reloading. Lasers needs to chill. Lasers needs to back off. Lasers cannot be peeking anymore. Both teams have to be thinking the Stucks cannot be peeking anymore. Hatchback can't even be peeking anymore. He's...
We've taken some serious blows.
Magna and Boxhound in a good cross position though.
Yep. Both teams need to stop peeking. ONUR6 needs to realize this. ONUR6 has... It says 68 to 68, but I'm telling you right now, ONUR6 is up on hit points. Maybe
like...
not so much anymore, but... Ooh, Crew's getting...
4005 is now rotating around back. Could be interesting.
4005 is going to be the game breaker here. If the 4005 can penetrate one shot onto Far Dragon, which would be the tank that he's going to encounter, that could be the win of the game. Oh no, Far Dragon.
Okay,
Oh no.
So on your 6, if they would know where Magna is, they could push and just focus their fire up.
See, if ONUR6 had a Batchat, they would know. No offense, the Batchat would be able to rotate more than the Patton is in that hold position, but Magna is about to get some juicy shots.
Come in behind him, yeah.
And all Magna has to do here is claim
Patton,
one kill. One kill out of Magna. And that's GG on your 6. Although the only shot he has is on a Super Conk for 24.
Oh, he
Magna
missed.
just damaged 2 tanks for 200 damage ETH. That's not good. BK Fly Kid
It's not what you want.
called in on the push on that Magna Flash Boy.
He's gonna be reloaded.
Magna's got to dip
I
out
know.
of there, and Chief have got to take advantage of these tanks being pulled out.
The E4 is just getting set up for a cross though. The E4 on your 6. Now his shots on hatchback. Gonna put a shot on the hatchback with Tangi. 896. What a hit. Hatchback's now
BK is
one
gonna get
shot.
caught out. Here comes the 4005. Can he finish the? Can he put a good shot on the Super Cog? Oh, there's the 1600 roll.
It didn't kill him though. He's
Shandy
still alive.
Amarax. Angie going to help.
Patangi now rotated though. That
hit
Patangi's the one
points are
shot though
so
for that start.
close.
Patangi can't push
No,
that.
no tanks down. Hit points are near.
This
close
mouse
control.
needs to stop taking, both of the mouses on your 6 need to stop taking damage. HE rounds will kill them now, and Chief knows this. Chief needs to, oof. Mystic Ben a one shot. Mystic Ben can't take shots anymore either. This is coming down to the wire. A minute left to go.
So many
the only
one-shots.
person with hit points on both sides. So many one shots on both sides. Where's the Patton at? Oh, Stevie rotated out. I didn't even see this. Stevie with the kill. That could be the play right there.
ONUR6
Stevie has a
taking the
cross on
early
these guys.
advantage. Minute and
Stevie has
30
a cross.
left.
Magna Flashboy killing
Chief
Fish
leveling
though.
it back up.
Chief
taking
with another
the
kill
lead.
on Astro. Patangi's gonna kill Flashboy though.
Does, and ONUR6 level it back up again, 3-3.
Oh my god, this is pretty fucking crazy.
Chief
Patangi's
taking
gonna turn
advantage
around,
once
kill
more.
rated M, or needed this.
Oh, he Far Dragon down.
Stevie's gonna kill this.
ONUR6 really need to pull something back. They have got the hit point advantage on their 2 tanks, but they are down 2 tanks.
They're down a lot of guns right now.
But Danji's gonna get farmed. Stevie needs to get in there now. Stevie's gonna get farmed himself, but Tanji needs to maybe hit box hound for a lot. All we can hope for is a high roll here. Oh, what a kill!
Oh. Patton taking too long. This could be the difference maker here.
Yeah, if this was a bat chat, bat chat would have gotten position. This is gonna be rough for Stevie to win. Stevie's just going for the kill on Stux. Stux has rotated though. Both Cruz and Stux having loaded tanks. Stevie killing Stux, but I don't think it's enough. Patton on Patton.
Oh, and he goes over.
What a kill!
Wow, what a game!
That could have went to anyone though.
That was crazy, dude.
Chief going out with a 2 tank advantage and taking the win and the series.
5,000 damage out of Sergeant Cruz. And then 3k out of Magna on that FE. Wow.
Not quite the game I think he would have hoped for in that. It was definitely RNG wasn't on his side with those rolls, but
yep, I agree.
Didn't really matter on the night because there were other people in Chiefs to pick up the slack.
That was great matches by both teams, and I mean I think you give it to a different night, the same maps. You know, it could be anyone. I mean ONUR6 showed that they can dish the damage out against a team such as Chief, and Chief showed that they can dish the damage out against a team such as ONUR6. I mean, you know, those were great close games.
I mean, Chief will certainly be happy getting the series out. It was definitely a shaky game for them, I don't think. They were expecting it to be so difficult, and ONUR6 can certainly hold their heads up proud here. They played exceptionally well tonight.
Alright, boys. Well, thanks for having me. I gotta bounce for supper.
I think I'm going to call that as well. Before I go, I'd just like to thank you all for tuning in, and thank Tank Killer and Enraged and Dingy for coming along.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
having me. It'll be a short and sweet one, and we will catch you on the next installment of Global Tanks League.